Reapers, what's going on, man? This is Devontae. This is the Reaper Motivation Podcast, and I wanted to touch on today the relationships a little bit. I kind of looked through my catalog recently on the channel, both on the podcast and my YouTube channel, and I've seen that things have been a little serious. I've kind of been real serious on a lot of my videos, albeit this is the, kind of like the perfect timing for them. A lot of racial change and social change going on in the USA right now, and I feel like it was my duty almost to make sure that I spoke my part on it. If y'all been keeping up with me a little bit, y'all know that I've been talking those things for quite some time now. I've been putting up videos like that for months, but today I said that I wanted to look in relationships, and the reason why was because I was on Facebook. I've been on Facebook a lot lately. I was on Facebook and I saw there was a post, and the post was like basically a time frames that people thought for like relationships. So how long before, like how long is the talking stage, how long is the dating, how long is the engagement, and all this other stuff. And they had their own, I can't remember the exact like years that they had set for what was on there. I think it was like 2 years for like engagement or some shit like that. It was a lot, but anyhow, one thing that stood out to me was the talking stage, right? And that seemed to be what, when I looked in the comments of that post, what everybody was talking about was how long the talking stage was, and the talking stage was there for about a year. And I thought to myself, like, talking stage is important. Like, I don't think people really understand how important the talking stage is. You know what I'm saying? That's like the screening process for relationships. So I was like, you know what? I kind of want to touch on the talking stage. I want to touch on like what it is and why it's important and how long do I think it should be, right? And so I said that would make for a good video. So today is gonna be all about the talking stage. I think I'll get into the other relationship stages probably in following podcasts. I think we might make a series out of this. So we're gonna start with talking stage. We're going to go into, after that, the dating phase, and then we're gonna go into, y'all know I don't believe really in marriage, but we'll go into like what would be the engagement and the wedding. I think what I'm gonna do with these is I'm going to basically kind of go through what you should be learning. I'm like most of the relationship videos and podcasts that I've made, all this is going to be based off the standpoint of assuming that you have become a goal hunter, a reaper. All right, you're locked into your purpose. You're out there, you're grinding 60, 70, 80 hours a week towards your purpose. You're going to school, you're working, just going at it. And relationships are a bit different for people that are self-motivated. Well, not bit, it's very different. If you have a lot going on, a relationship is a big big step. Because it's either going to be a big step in the wrong direction or right direction. The right direction is you're about to create an empire, right? You're going to build generational wealth. You're going to have a lot going on. The bad way to go is going to be whoever you're with is going to take you completely off your purpose, and next thing you know, you're going to be 30, 40, damn near 50 years into a job that you can't stand, that you've been stuck at because you have a bunch of kids, or you're going to just completely fall off your purpose altogether and probably fuck around and lose that person too. The way things been going recently, the divorce rates and stuff like that, you can't afford to. Well, we'll get into that. I'm kind of going off topic a little bit, but back to the talking stage. So first and foremost, how long do I think the talking stage should be? So on that specific post I was talking about, it said about a year, and people were saying that that's way too long for a talking stage, but I want y'all to hear me out, right? And some of y'all might even think so, but I want y'all to hear me out. If you're a reaper, right, you're motivated, you got a lot going on, you got to understand that going into a relationship is a lot. And I went into this on another video. I don't think it was on a podcast. I think it was on my YouTube channel. But I talked about the energy that comes from relationships is a lot. It's a lot. It's like, it's going to be a lot of energy. It's going to be a lot of time. And for you to deviate, if you're going to school, you're working, you're trying to run your business and everything like that, it's going to take a lot of time and effort and energy for you to get into relationships. So you need to make sure that you're putting that into somebody who's worth that energy, right? And what the talking stage does really is it's almost like a screening process for a potential, significant other. Now, albeit you're really not gonna know who you're in a relationship with until you get in that relationship with that person, but this is kind of giving you an idea. Like, this is how this person is, this is how their schedule is, how, because you may meet a girl or a dude, right? Depending on your which way you're swinging, but you may meet somebody, right? And on the first date, they may tell you, I got this going on, I'm doing that, and I'm working this and I'm playing on that. But you don't realize how real dedicated they are into their purpose and what they're doing until you're dealing with that person, right? Because on the first date, the girl you talking to might have been like, oh yeah, I'm going to school, I'm working here, and I'm starting my own business. And then y'all maybe a month into talking to each other, and she's blowing up your phone all the time because she's not doing much anything besides going to work, so she's bored, right? And then you're like, damn, I thought you had all this other stuff going on. And that's kind of like a normal thing with like humans. We all have our phases where we are off our purpose a little bit, but you want to make sure that person's just maybe he's going through a little stretch where they're off of it, and not them just talking about things and not doing them. That's what you don't want. You do not want to get in a relationship with anybody who's complacent with where they are, or who, I think I saw a post, they were like, there's thinkers and doers. You don't want to be in a relationship with a thinker, because it's going to be a lot of thought, not a lot of doing, and it's going to waste a lot of your time. I'm saying right now, if you're in a relationship and you are locked in, something's going to take a hit. Which is worth it depending on who you're in that relationship with. However, though, if you guys aren't both busy, that other person is going to deter you from damn near everything that you got going on, except for probably your job, because that's how you feed yourself, right? And that's how you see people get in relationships, and they start going to the gym, they get real heavy set. It's kind of like everything just kind of takes a back seat, and you kind of see, start going to school. And I see it all the time, especially working at the shipyard, because the shipyard is like one of those places it's easy to get complacent because you're making good money, right? You're working overtime, you're not wanting for much. The cost of living out here is not cheap, but it's not as high as if you live in New York or California. So it's easy. I see it all the time. People get in these relationships, pop a baby or two out, and they stuck here for 30 years. Boom. Right? And I'm not saying I've seen that all the way through, but I've met enough people and heard the story enough times where it's like, yeah, that's something that's a very, very real possibility, right? And so you need to be very cognizant of that. So like, I feel like the talking stage, you're figuring out that this person, if this person is really a goal hunter like you are, and that goes for male and female. It's gonna surprise some dudes on here that there's girls who are as locked in as like a goal hunter is as a male. I'm telling you right now, I know a couple girls that are some hustlers, 100%. I know some that get after it. I'm not talking about hustlers like they start their own business and they might put a little bit of time into that, little bit. I'm talking about 100%, 60 hours a week, 70, getting it. You know what I mean? I've met a few of them, and they, well, I'm not gonna say a few. I met a couple, right? But there are those out there. They get into it. You know what I mean? They are not playing games about their goals. And if you're lucky enough to find one of those that you get along with, you're in the money. Because what's gonna happen is neither one of you guys are going to be kind of bickering at the other for each other's time, right? Because look, if you ain't got nothing to do and you get off work and you got a significant other, you're gonna want to be around that person. It's natural, especially if you're attracted to them and you like their company. So, but if you guys are both busy, you guys aren't going behind each other like that. And on top of that, the best thing about it, you're gonna miss each other more when you do get a break, and when she does get a break, all of a sudden, boom, now y'all can enjoy each other's time a whole lot more because you guys haven't, you guys don't get to spend as much time as normal. Especially if y'all live together, or y'all don't live together. It's the time that y'all gonna spend once you guys finally link up is gonna be great. So that's a very important part of the talking phase. And then also, you want to know kind of, if you guys are compatible sexually. I don't know, some of y'all might have the abstinence thing, but for the most part, a lot of people aren't, and you guys got to make sure you're on that same type of time as far as sexually and things like that, if you guys are compatible in that regard. And all of this is found out through a talking stage, and y'all may be still thinking, maybe a year is a little bit too long for that. That's kind of ridiculous, but you gotta think, right? Let's say y'all meet, let's say beginning of the month, and y'all get to talking for a week or two. I say normally, unless like there's like a high like interest between the both of y'all probably won't go on y'all first date until maybe after at least a week of talking, maybe 2 weeks at that, right? Y'all go on y'all first date, y'all vibe a little bit, do a little something, y'all cool. Then might go on, if it goes really good, y'all might go on the second date, maybe it's like 2 weeks after, right? Or a week after. You know what I mean? If it went really good, probably a week. Maybe on that second date, maybe y'all have sex, maybe y'all don't. Probably by the third date, and almost definitely by the fourth date if y'all really are feeling each other the way y'all are. But all around, this right here has already been like a month, 2 months. You know what I'm saying? So if you thinking about it, now that y'all start moving a bit more serious and y'all trying to find out about each other, how much in those 2 months do you think you really got an understanding of who that person is? Right? Like I said, you're not gonna really know about that person fully until you get into a relationship. But as far as just looking at the goal aspects that I was talking about, you really don't get an idea of that person's schedule like that. You don't get a good idea like what they got going on, how locked in they are. And one thing about the talking stage that I think is super dope is you kind of get into the honeymoon phase early, right? So it's always gonna be a honeymoon phase, normally about 6 months. And then you kind of see who it is that you're dealing with. If y'all was talking for 3-4 months, you see what I'm saying, or 3, 4, 5 months, you kind of start to get off of that honeymoon phase. By the time you get into a relationship, you're in a real relationship. You see who that person is for the most part. You know, you really gonna know about who they are completely once y'all move in together. But the relationship, now you're in the nitty gritty. Now you're at, all right, this is who this person is. This is how compatible we are. This is how much we argue, whatever the case may be, whatever. And this is especially good if you're like young like me, because you know, you might not be done fucking around yet. Like, you might not like be fully ready for a relationship. Like, a lot of people, like, we feel like, you know, we have those nights where, you know, you just want to lay up with somebody or go do something. Like I was talking about earlier, I was for whatever reason I got the strange urge to go on a picnic. You know what I'm saying? You really can't do stuff like that with somebody who not saying that you're not taking it serious, but like you're not looking for a relationship with. Like, if you're just dealing with somebody who you're just dealing with, you don't want to do stuff like that. So that'll make you want a relationship, right? Which is completely normal. Like, it's understandable, but it's different wanting it for, you know, for those lonely nights or something like that, or those bored days or some things that you want to do. There's a whole nother situation when you're actually in a relationship. So you may not be done going out and, you know, enjoying yourself and you know, I'm not even talking about just partying, just, you know, having that freedom. Like I said, there's a bit of a, if you're in a relationship where there's a level of respect being held, it's not like you're going to be able to just disappear for 2 or 3 days, you know what I mean, and everything be cool. You see what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to just, your homeboy hit you up on Friday, hey, you want to come over for, you know, whatever the case, for the football game, and it's Sunday, you just be like, all right, cool, I'm gonna go. Even, you know, you gotta check in with your girl or check in with your significant other to see what's going on, like if y'all had some plans or something like that. You know, there's certain things that come in relationships, so you may not be ready to have that type of commitment just yet. And that talking stage kind of lets you know if you are or not, because a lot of times, especially if you out in the dating world, and I know I experience it because I'm single and I'm, you know, doing my thing. People suck. You know what I mean? Like 100%. You gonna, like, I was talking to my friend about it, and probably the worst thing about being single and dating is not even like the game. Well, I mean, if you're a dude, you get used to, like, you just know games are gonna be played. I mean, it's something that, like, if you haven't came to that realization with like women yet, then this, you know, you're just late. But games gonna be played, so whatever on that. But it's more so just being bored. Like, finally getting some of these girls on dates and interact with them and being like, God damn, like, you kind of, I don't like being around you. Like, it's hard to find somebody that you get a good vibe with, right? So a lot of times you might be out and doing your thing, and somebody catch a vibe with somebody that makes you want them more. I gotta tell you, this at this point in time, a vibe is 10 times, I'd say 20 times more important than any type of sexual experience or anything like that. I'd probably prioritize a vibe over goals in some instances. Well, actually, I take that I probably won't say that much, but I definitely would prioritize a vibe over a lot. So, that talking stage, this is giving you an opportunity to really know like what it is that you're trying to do. You see what I'm saying? Now, not everybody's gonna wait. Now, that's something that you should definitely talk to that person about, and see where their head is, and see like what is it that you are trying to do. And to be honest with you, like I said, we're looking at this from a goal hunter's perspective. If that person's as locked in on their goals as you are, they're gonna be very, very careful about their time too. So a lot of times it actually works out, going through that talking stage, for 6-7 months, because they don't know whether you're worthy to put all that time and effort into. You know what I mean? Because in the talking stage, you're not texting every day. You're not, I guess I should clarify that. You're not texting every day. You're not seeing each other every day. You're just kind of, y'all click up. Y'all go on dates. Y'all enjoy each other's time. Y'all getting to know each other. Y'all might go to events here and there, but nothing serious yet. It's not exclusive. Nobody's made anything exclusive. Some of y'all gonna call that fuck buddies, if that's what y'all want to call it. I guess so, but I really think that's more so of like, just a talking stage. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, if that person's locked in too, it's definitely gonna be a situation, especially if they got kids already. If they got kids, that's even another perspective to add in. That's a lot of time to be invested. So they're gonna be very, very careful and very picky about their time too, right? So I feel like people need to be a bit more open to a longer talking stage, especially people who are goal oriented, not oriented. Now I know if you're a goal oriented person that you may have the issue with, I think we all have kind of a microwave effect to our brains as my generation goes, because we all kind of want things to happen a bit quicker. If you're goal oriented, you might be a bit more understanding that things do take time, but we all get impatient. And I think because of that, like, you don't want to have to wait through a long talking period or a screening process. You kind of want to know that you like that person, get into it, and go straight into your relationship. But you gotta be you gotta be realistic about timing and understanding and things like that. Now, you don't want to wait forever. That's not what I'm advocating. That's why I didn't really say a set time for it, because you may figure out all you need to know in 3 months. You may figure out all you need to know in 7 months. It might take a year. You never know. Y'all both might be on your grind and still enjoying your free time, your young life, and things like that. You want to go party and enjoy yourself. It might take a year, but y'all keep in contact. Y'all keep interacting. Y'all keep having fun. And in that time frame, you guys get a better understanding. But it's not something that you want to rush. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like I was watching an interview. I can't remember who it was. I think it was some type of I think the lady was some type of relationship therapist or something like that. But anyhow, she was basically saying that people put more effort into the wedding than they do the actual marriage. You plan for months on end. Like, the whole engagement is dedicated to the doves flying and over the beach and who's gonna be sitting there and all this other stuff. But no one actually put thought into well, how are we gonna do this? How are we gonna interact? Where are we gonna live? How's this marriage gonna go? You really don't have any idea until you get into it. But it's better to plan than not to. That's my theory in life in general. That's what I've been using probably since I was 18, when I got into all my goals and things like that. It's better to plan than to not to. I would rather have a plan A, B, C, and D, and all 4 of them failed. I'm just like, what the fuck at that point, than me just have a plan A and that doesn't work, and then I'm like, oh, well, damn, well, what now? You set yourself up for a lot sooner of a crash when you put the certain when you implement certain precautions ahead of time. So you really got to put some idea in some of these things. And I think that, so like I said, I don't think there's a real time frame for talking stages. I feel like that's something that will go from person to person. But again, if you're goal oriented, you need it. There's no reason. Like, there was a individual who I worked with. I'm not going to say his name, but this dude I worked with, and we used to have a lot of talks. I used to work with him, but we used to have a lot of talks about, goals and everything. He had some plans to do some big things and go to school and stuff, and he basically just threw away all of them for this one girl that he just met like a month ago, and it took like 2 weeks. And like, hey, I hope it works out for him, but y'all gotta understand, like, that happens. Like, it happens very often. Like, you and I, like I said, I seen on the shipyard a lot. It'll start off, you got your shit going, you're working out, you got your goals together, and you meet that one person, and next thing you know, boom, you're stuck there for 30 years. And he hates that place as much as I did. So I would hate to see that happen, but you start setting yourself up for it when you don't put the proper screening in place for that person. And some of y'all are gonna have the point, what if you lose a good person while trying to wait? I'm a firm believer that when it comes to love, right, what's gonna work out is gonna work out, right? I don't think that that's something that you force, that you're supposed to, you can't hunt love like you hunt goals. It's two different dynamics, because it's two different people. It's one of those things that you have to really, not to say let happen, but it can't be, I think this person's the one, I'm gonna chase after you with all my might, this is how it's gonna go, I gotta get you. Like, that's not gonna do anything but just strain the relationship, and also, like I said, throw everything else in the world out of whack. I've been in those situations where that person is your whole life, and you end up just kind of at one point sitting back like, damn, I don't got no friends, I don't really do much outside of being with this person. And then if y'all start beefing, it's awful. Let me tell you something, if you throw all your shit away that you got going on for one person and y'all get to beefing, oh my god, your life is gonna be a living hell, because it's like you don't have nothing else to do. Like, I can't go hang with my friends. I mean, you can, but it's like, damn, I ain't talked to these dudes in months. You know what I mean? I stopped going to the gym, I stopped doing all this, I stopped eating right, I'm not in school, I'm just here with you and you're pissing me off. It's like, oh my goodness, it's like, so you do not want to have that dynamic there. And if you guys watch any type of dating shows, like I watch a lot of AMS, I watch a lot of what's my man name? Damn, I can't remember the name of the other dude that I watch. He's like a dating coach / like relationship coach too. But there's a couple of people I watch like on YouTube. They're very interesting, and they all tell you, man, like, you do not want to smother your partner. Period. Whether whether you're playing the game to get a wife, or you're playing the game just to have hoes, whatever. You don't want to smother anybody, because no one wants to feel smothered. Now, if you're someone who's very clingy, this is not a shot at nobody that considers himself clingy, but generally speaking, clingy people aren't goal oriented, and that's just from what I've seen. Now, it may be a difference, but a lot of times people who are clingy don't have anything else going on, because you can't be clingy if you're working. Like, if I'm sitting here making my podcast, if I'm writing my book, if I'm at the gym, it is no way I can be clingy, because I'm not gonna see you all the time, because I can't see you all the time, I'm too busy. So generally speaking, I'm not making this for clingy people. Like I said, it's all goal oriented viewpoints on relationships. So if you can't smother that person. Now, if y'all both are clingy as shit, well, y'all perfect for each other. More than likely, I'm not trying to diss nobody, so I'm gonna stop right there. But y'all perfect for each other. But if you're not clingy and that other person's clingy, that's another thing the talking stage is gonna definitely show you. You'll see that early on. To be honest with you, any like clingy female that I've met, a lot of times if they're clingy within like the first week. Like, you might miss a call and they hit you up. You didn't get my call? You didn't see my text? You didn't see my, like, what? Like, relax. You see what I'm saying? Like, like as soon as something happens, triple texting and things like that, you'll see that like immediately. So that's something that comes about pretty quickly. But don't really want to beat a dead horse. Like I said, the next one that we're going to go into is going to be the engagement and the relationship. I'm going to combine them both together, because I'm not going to have too much to say about engagement, so I didn't want to make that a small segment. I was just combine that with the relationship aspect. But it's basically going to be time frames, viewpoints and stuff like that. I know I've talked about relationships in certain aspects already, but I guess I'm gonna try to hit it from different aspects this time around. But please subscribe, like, comment, share, all that stuff, man. This This is Devontae. This is Reaper Training. Yeah, I just remember we don't hunt. We don't chase green dreams. We hunt goals. I'll catch y'all next time.